podcast 878. Silly Tech Songs.
And welcome to the MyMac.com podcast. This is our first show of 2022. Now, it seems weird to say this, but CES 2022 is already over. And apparently wasn't as huge as it's been in years past. Obviously, the never-ending-demic is the culprit, but there were still some cool things. Do you like that? Never-ending
I like
ending
that a
demic?
lot. I really like that a lot.
You know, I almost considered using that for the show title this week, but I figured no, it's about CES.
No, well, I think we can use that in a future show when it's still never ending.
Yeah, never-ending demic.
Yeah.
But there were some cool things released for Apple-related products, and the G-Men will discuss that with absolutely no expertise at all. And
Correct.
Hey, Gaz, how are you today?
Well,
you having a good week?
I am very well, Guy, and yes, I am having a good week. We started off our volunteering again, and I cleared up all of the Christmas decorations before fifth or sixth night. Can't remember which it is, and I think I mentioned previously just before Christmas, my daughter had confirmation of her getting a job, and this week, awaiting confirmation of signatures, I have also accepted a part-time, so 3-day a week, on a 12-month contract job, which actually will mean that hopefully, if all goes well, come this time next year, I probably will be fully retired officially, he says. Officially. Been doing an awful lot. I've been doing quite a lot on MyMac and equally with my phone and the iPad. Was a bit annoyed again today because again my watch actually through a session failed on its battery lasting capabilities, so I was a bit annoyed with that. So it could be that I thought the battery was okay after I'd done a reset, maybe that it's not quite in the health that I was hoping it was, so I might have to possibly go out and buy a new phone and put this in as a
New phone or watch?
Sorry, watch.
Okay.
Excuse me. So, because if you remember, some time ago, I had a bit of an issue with the battery life on the watch, but it seemed to sort itself out. But now it's happened again today, and it wasn't particularly cold today when I was out running around the pitch, so I was just a little bit annoyed.
I've solved it. I've solved that issue.
Go on.
I never take it off the charger.
That solves a lot of issues, but however, running around a pitch, going backwards and forwards and crossing other people means that the cable's got to be really long.
Really long. And if there's a player you don't like, you just kind of go, yoink.
Yeah, yoink, trip him over. Yeah, and I've still got the issue, because I haven't really come around to trying to fix it, of the handoff process in terms of recognizing my the web pages on the phone and on the iPad and on the Mac, i.e. when you click on a new page, you've got the option to, possibly also see what the pages are on your Mac or on your iPhone or on your pad if you're on one of the other devices. Well, it's not syncing up. Our iCloud is just not syncing up. So I'm going to have to fix that at some point. I think I've mentioned that before, but it's still not right. So, and Marcus, if you're listening, I hadn't forgotten your email that you sent us, and there will be a little bit about it in the second part of the show.
Yes, there will.
How about you? What have you been doing?
Yeah, well, there was a big storm that hit this area on Monday. And because of the extra day off that we got for New Year's, I was extra motivated, because I never want to retire, ever. Snarl.
Yeah.
But I knew there was going to be a lot of work to do. So even though it was snowing just a little bit when I left home, it was like, they tell us 4 to 6 inches and we get 1 to 2. maybe. So I was like, okay, screw that. I'm going to go ahead and go into work. And I started to go down the road, and sometimes, Gaz, and hold back your shock here. Sometimes I make poor decisions,
Never.
and the
Never
first
in
the
the
first
field of Guy's history has he ever made a wrong decision.
well,
Ever.
there was a whole series of them on Monday because bad decision number one, going to work when it was snowing. That was
Yeah.
the first bad decision. And then as I was going down the main road that I take to get to work, the police had it blocked off because there was a big accident.
Yes.
And I said, oh, well, I know this other way I can go. Bad decision number two. Second bad decision was just made. And I got down this one little access road to the secondary road that I've taken on any number of occasions when it wasn't snowing. And what made this especially bad was in the time that I left the house to the time when I was turning down my secondary route, the snow had increased exponentially.
Oh dear.
And now there was almost 3 inches. There was like about an inch when I left. Within 35 minutes, there were 2 inches. And it was coming down really hard.
That's a lot of snow coming. I'm surprised you could see in front of your end of your car.
It was really coming down. And I made the left-hand turn when I should have made a right to go back home, but did not. Yeah, and came across a small hill that there were any number of light front-wheel drive cars stuck because instead of taking the momentum that they had, and you, if you're on snow and ice and you have momentum and there isn't like a tree or a wall or another car in front of you, you don't stop.
No.
Yes, you'll feel the car slide a little bit. Don't stop. Keep going, because once you lose that momentum, you will not get it back again. And that's kind of what happened with all these other cars. And because I had cars in front of me, I had to stop, at which point I had no momentum. So eventually I gave up on that road, and because the car is relatively light, I was able to spin the back around on the ice and get it facing in the opposite direction. And it was like, okay, I'm going home because this isn't going to work. And I started to go down the road that I was on, and I was okay for a little while, but then the amount of snow that had fallen felled a tree right across the road.
Wow.
This is a 2-lane road, no way to get around it. And it was like, damn it. So I spin the car around again on the ice, and I'm trying to find like all these alternate ways to get home I just want to get off this road at this point, Telegraph Road in Alexandria. That was the road I was trying to get off of. It took me 3 hours just to get off that road onto a road that didn't suck. And as it turned out, that road sucked. And it was Van Dorn Street, which my new plan was to take Van Dorn Street to I-95. Now, people that don't live in the Northern Virginia area, you're just going to have to trust me on the names of these roads and where they take you. So I get on Van Dorn Street, and I'm headed toward I-95, and the plan is to get to 95 and then take 95 to Route 1. And now, remember, I've been in the car now for about 4 to 5 hours.
Wow.
And I had drunk 2 cups of coffee before I left for work. By the time I got to 95, I was sitting there in the car thinking, I really hope I get home soon. Because
were they large cups of coffee, Guy?
They were large cups of coffee, Gaz, and I really, really had to pee. So I get on 95.
Could have melted the ice with it.
Well, if things had gone really bad, I probably would have used it to try to break up the ice. I'm going down. I get on 95 and I'm headed north toward the Route 1 exit, and traffic stops again. And at this point, it's like I just don't care. So I turned the car slightly to the side, got out because nobody was going anywhere, walked around to the front of the car, took care of business, and definitely Frank Zappa would have been proud of all the yellow snow that I left. And then got back in my car and didn't make eye contact with anybody that was around me. It was like, no, look, you guys are just going to have to understand what's going on here. And I get off 95 and things are okay for once this entire stupid day. And then I get on the main road that takes me home and everything is still going okay. Until I get to a small hill where someone had stopped before they got to the top and just hosed up everybody. So again, I had to swing the back end of the car around. And by this time, I'm like super, super pissed because I haven't eaten anything. It is now like 2 o'clock, 2:30. And I'm coming back down that same hill, make a turn, and I get back onto Route 1 because I know there's another way to go off Route 1. But I got off Route 1 because it looked like it was busy. But now it's my only hope. You know, it was like Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was my only hope.
Yep.
And I start going south on Route 1, and the police have South Route 1 blocked off because of an accident and some down power lines. And it was like, God! And I'm this close. I'm this close to being home. This close. So I take a road that I knew in the back of my mind was a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake. Mistake number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the history of mistakes. And because the problem with this road was you get to a certain part of it where it's downhill and then uphill. And if you can't get up over that second hill,
you're not going back up the hill you just come down.
You're screwed because you can't get back up over the other stupid hill. And that's what happened. I got to the bottom of the hill, couldn't get up over, and I was just hosed. And I'm like swinging the car in different directions, trying to get some purchase to go in some direction. And there was, Mother Nature wasn't having it at all. Fortunately, the house that I was in front of where all this happened, there was a very, very kind man whose name is Dan, and his wife, who had
Dan
shovels.
or Don?
Dan.
Okay.
And they had a small piece of asphalt that was off the road, but not in their driveway, so that I wouldn't block them. And we managed to get my car onto that small piece of asphalt. And was it my fault? No. It was their asphalt. Okay? So
I'll tell you what, I hope this isn't just a story to get to that punchline.
No. That just came into my head as that was going on. I would not tell a story this long just for that stupid joke. Though it's not a bad joke. So
you wouldn't?
No. I would like to think that I wouldn't, but there's no guarantees. So I get all my stuff that I need to get out of the car because I had frozen lunches that I was taking into work, and I had liquid eggs that I was taking into work. And it's all now semi-unfrozen, but because I had to walk home from this point,
refroze.
It was going to refreeze it again. And I was so tired.
Refreezing eggs isn't good.
No. And it was like the liquid eggs. So I don't know how close those are to real eggs anyway. Anyway, it was a complete nightmare. Oh no, his name was Don. I'm looking at my own notes here. Yes, his name was Don.
Well, that's what I'd been looking at.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So, I went back the next day and I got my car, and everything. There was some more precipitation that night, so everything kind of refroze, and I was not going to drive back over to that area.
So was it snow on top of ice then?
No, it was ice on top of snow. It was more like it. We got a little bit of snow on Friday, but it wasn't nearly as bad, though. They closed the
that'll
government.
teach you to be the trooper and try to get into work.
I know. It was so stupid. So what I have done, and I haven't been able to give it to him yet because I haven't gotten back over there, I got Don and his wife an Outback Steakhouse gift card for all the help that they gave me, and I just need to get on over to his house and drop it off for them because they really saved my ass.
Don't go over there when it's snowing.
No, that's why I haven't been able to give it to him yet, because it's not so much that it was going to snow again. It was just that everything kept refreezing because it's been so cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so that was my adventure, and I am currently using the SM7B going to a Yamaha mixer. One day I'll be satisfied and won't change anything. Ha
Yeah.
ha!
Liar.
I am.
Well,
Total
I
liar.
think they are going to be quite short this week, folks, but I'm going to straight over, even, into Gaz's snippets. So, Apple became the first US company to reach 3 trillion value, Guy. Now, that in itself was not a surprise, because I think we've been kind of talking about this anyway.
Yeah.
What made me laugh and why I wanted to put this piece in was the fact that not 2 days later, when will Apple be 4 trillion? Can you believe it? I mean, yeah. I mean, the rise from actually 1 trillion up to 3 trillion has been quite quick. But, let's not start talking 4 trillion. Anyway, I wonder what Mr. Dell's thinking. And off the back of that, Apple last week, shares hit a new all-time intraday and closing highs, finishing at $182.01.
That's never happened before.
Correct. Apparently, an Apple HomeKit bug can send iOS devices into a death spiral. A security researcher, Trevor Spinolas, has discovered a vulnerability capable of locking iOS devices into a spiral of freezing, crashing, and rebooting if a user connects to a sabotaged Apple Home device.
So that's not normal behavior.
Well, kind of not, no.
Okay.
It's not the sort of thing you want happening on a regular basis. So I'm sure once it's been reported, Apple will try and get that fixed. Probably not through the HomeKit devices, or it may be a combination of updates to both HomeKit and also the iOS devices themselves. Apple TV Plus is set to produce a Formula One racing movie starring Brad Pitt. Now, apparently this film is not going to be based on any truth. I shall be quite interested in watching it. Maybe.
Was it F1 or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that would be why, I guess.
Yeah. The clues in the name, really. Formula One.
Oh, well, yeah.
F1.
F1. Yeah, I get things eventually.
Now, this is a bit of a rumor, but actually I'm quite interested in it in terms of Apple. Is it Apple One? Where you pay for a multiple set of... Right. So Apple could launch an audiobook service later this year. Now, I've heard that rumor in a few places, whether it's the same rumor being regurgitated, which it probably is. But actually, if they do that and add it as an extra initially, because you know what Apple's like, you don't get much for free. Do you get anything for free? But if it
only
comes
the stuff
to
you pay for.
But if it comes to that Apple One service, then actually I'd be quite interested in taking that up. Now, I saw this on multiple occasions. Apple's upcoming AR/VR headset will feature innovative 3-display configuration. I think I actually saw one with a 3-display configuration. To get over it, guys, and wait. That's all I can say.
It's going to be in the trunk of your Apple car.
Yeah.
Any day now, Gaz.
Any day
now.
Apple
along with an actual Apple TV. They'll both be in the trunk of your Apple car.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it, actually?
Yeah, it kind of would.
It's like, that's what they're waiting for. You've sussed it, Guy, without realising it. They're waiting to actually produce the car so that all of the surprises are in the boot.
So that you can drive it right home.
With all those surprises. Apple has scheduled its Q1 2022 holiday earnings release for January 27, so we'll have a lot of fun listing all of the money that they've made on the 27th or thereafter. Apparently, now I brought this up for a different reason, but Apple are testing multiple foldable iPhone prototypes, but has concerns over the display technology and market. This is all people guessing, right? This is analysts and reporters. But what it made me think was, have I actually seen a foldable phone in the wild. And since they've been out, I've been to London a few times, which is where you'd expect to see those sorts of devices. Certainly not where I live, in a village with 20 houses. Not going to happen, got to say, especially knowing the demographic of the people.
All you need is one, and it would be 5%.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I've seen none at
either.
all. And I don't know if you've seen any, but there was such a hoo-ha about Apple must produce a foldable phone. And then
Or
when
die.
Samsung came out, there was a little bit, of yay. And it's gone absolutely quiet since, as far as I'm concerned. So Apple, if you're listening, only do it if you really want to and you can really do a good job on it. A few emails and web links to the fact that Apple CEO Tim Cook earned $98.7 million in stock and salary in 2021. Okay, so what? He's worth it.
And he doesn't actually have it until he cashes out. It's the difference between income, capital gains, and wealth.
Absolutely. Apple has lost a lead Apple Silicon designer, Jeff Wilcox, to Intel. Ooh, they must have been offering him a lot of money.
They just need a lot of help, is what they need.
Well, they possibly do. I'm just going to adjust myself for the thingy bob because it's disconcerting me. Okay, and my next one is Google Chrome for iOS freezing for some users following the latest updates. I try and avoid Google Chrome on any Apple device, including my Mac, to be honest with you. I'll use the Chrome-based Microsoft Edge. Steps back in amazement, but actually I try and avoid Chrome as far as I can.
Yeah, I'm actually using a browser called Brave.
Okay, I was
just going to make an
inappropriate. I was just about to make an inappropriate call then, but I best not, so I'll leave it there. Apparently,
Brave on the Edge.
Apple TV Plus Ted Lasso season 3 could be its last. Do you know, that wouldn't surprise me. And
is it really that awful to contemplate that they just don't keep a show around until
just do one season?
Not funny anymore.
Just do one season. You don't have to do it, ad in for item. That's actually what gets me about some of these series that, Netflix and Disney are doing. When will this end? It's just like a soap opera. So, yeah, do it. Kill it.
Yeah, but just don't keep doing a show just because a lot of people say, well, you need to keep doing that show or it makes you money right now. And then the show becomes crap.
Do another show which is equally good. That's what you do.
There you go.
And that, guy, is the end of Gaz's Snippets. And it was a snippet week.
It was a tiny one. It was little tiny
little snippet.
Okay, I think that's going to do it for this section, Gaz.
It is.
So should I take us out?
No, I will.
Okay.
Everybody, stand by to stand by. And we'll be right back.
Right here.
Hi everyone and welcome to the MyMac podcast part 2, or the second section, whatever you want to say. It's the final section, but it's the final section today. Yeah. So Guy, apparently HomeKit was big, as was Apple's AirPlay 2 at CES, but those are topics for another day. Today, apparently, it's all about the watch, the phone and the computer, as well as some old jiggly bits thrown in at the end. So come on, Guy, give me the jiggly.
Okay, well, we're going to start off. I only have a couple here because there didn't seem to be that much at CES about watches that I could find. And as it turns out, this first one isn't about an Apple Watch at all. It's not an Apple Watch. But it looks cool.
I like the way you've done the link there to Apple.
Yeah, it's like the anti-Apple Watch.
It's the anti-Apple. section.
Yeah, so it's the Garmin Menu 2 Plus. These names just roll right off the tongue. It works with Siri through Bluetooth to an iPhone, so it can answer questions, create messages and phone calls, and all those other Siri-connected things.
It
also has...
It's clever.
It is. It also has lots of health and workout-related stuff. Also works with Android. Can last over a week on a single charge.
Ooh.
And in a shocker for a watch, it's round-shaped. And it retails for about $450. Now, unlike so many other shows, I'm not going to put a bunch of links to all of these things in the show notes, because what I've kind of discovered over the years, nobody goes to the show notes and looks for links that I can tell. And if you are one of those people that do, just write down that it's the Garmin Menu 2 Plus.
Or contact us and we'll send you the link.
Yeah, well, I will put together a whole thing of links that I could have just as easily put in the show notes. Okay, you got the next one.
Do you know what bioimpedance is? Do you care? Well, a company called Aura does and has a watch strap and companion app for the Apple Watch to measure body composition and hydration levels to get more personalized insights into what's going on inside your body if you're wearing one. That sounds really creepy. And
it really does.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, this is my bioimpedance app. It's telling me that I'm about to throw up.
Hey, it was right.
It was right.
Okay, we got some CES phone stuff. And again, this isn't like a comprehensive list.
Can I just go back to that? Would you,
Sure.
let's say it wasn't from this particular company, but it was an Apple device. Would you wear that? I mean, if it was about hydration levels and, it gave you other pieces of information, but if it constantly told me that I was overweight, I'd get a bit fed up with it.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like, who says?
Oh, I think that over this Christmas period, you're eating too many chocolates, Gaz. Stop eating so many chocolates.
I would eat twice as many, just to defy the watch. CES phone stuff. I got a few more things here.
Okay.
And the first one is this item called Fixed, and that's FIXD. It is a 2-part diagnostic device for your car. It plugs into your onboard diagnostic port, or OBD, and then connects to your phone through Bluetooth to tell you all the terrible things currently going on in your car. It can also let you know when to change the oil, rotate tires, and other regularly scheduled things so that you don't have to think about them. Now, I have been following car tech. The two of us have been following car tech for a while.
Yeah.
And I think we are this close, Gaz. I mean, we already have cars that will drive themselves. They are aware of when there are cars too close on either side or in front or in the rear. And now they know exactly when there's something wrong with them. At what point do they still need us? It'll be like, okay, I'm going to the grocery store.
So
there's
there'll be a traffic jam on the M4, notorious for traffic jams, and as is many motorways or highways across the world. But someday somebody's going to be stood on a bridge saying, "Why is there a traffic jam there? There's nobody in those cars."
It's still moving. They're still going. All right, why don't you take this next one? This next one is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, Starscope Monocular is an iPhone attachment with a field view from 293 to 1,000 meters. Wow! And includes tripod socket for hands-free use. Apparently, this looks so cool that Guy ordered one and will report back on its usefulness. Price varies based on the quantity ordered and accessories. Can I ask you a question on that?
Sure.
Is it also dedicated to a specific phone? So do you have to get a specific model of phone to be able to use it?
I don't think so.
Because I'll be. Can I jump in?
Yeah.
I used to be quite hot on these, and I had one of these. Like it was about 4 inches long, I would say, about 100 mil long, and it was really quite good, and it took some good shots. But you had to have a specific case on it, and it was a pain when you wanted to use it. But I will be really interested in once you've got it as to how good it is.
Well, what this has, it's got kind of. Oh, I have it on something else, but I can't. But you know those car mounts that you kind of unclip them and you put the phone in.
Yeah.
It's got something like that kind of slides
Okay.
back and forth, so you can adjust the phone to the lens. I believe the lens is attached to this particular part, so it should work with multiple phones. I'll know more once I finally get it. But I was kind of reading about this, and it was a couple of weeks ago. This complete off tangent. It was a couple of weeks ago. There was a phenomena in the sky, and I don't remember what it was. My wife was really super excited about it, and so she got out her binoculars, and we walked around the corner to where we could see that part of the sky from our neighborhood. And we spent like a half hour just checking this thing out. I thought about it. It was like, well, what if we had this thing that we could take pictures of it? And I don't know if you remember, but a number of years ago, for our 25th anniversary, we went to see an eclipse.
Yeah. Yes.
This would have been terrific for something like that, to see an eclipse. But, we didn't have anything like that at the time. The last thing that I've got for the phone is from I know I'm going to mispronounce this. They've been around forever. It's Scoche.
That's good. That'll do. That'll do.
SCHE.
That'll do.
They have a number of magnetic charging mounts for the home and the car, but one that they announced at CES is kind of cool is the Magic Mount MSC, which mounts via your car's air conditioning vents. Now, these kinds of things have been around forever, so it's like not that big of a deal. But the problem with all of these vent mounts is that they block the vents that you want to use, or may overheat the phone if you're using it in the wintertime. Except this one has a pivot. It pivots 360 degrees in any direction. So you can move it out of the way of the vent itself. And of course, it's got the magnetic charger, so you just kind of stick it on there and your phone will charge at the same time that you're using it for whatever else that you're using it for.
Cool. Great. Shall I take the next one?
Yeah, moving on to CES Mac stuff.
Okay, Targus have got a Find My backpack, which includes a Bluetooth tracker and can use Apple's Find My protocol when it's out of range. So go out and get one for your backpack. It does cost $150, but
I hope it's a really nice backpack for that much
yeah,
money.
So do I.
The next one, when I first read about this, I was kind of like, these people have been doing this for a long time. It's the Hyper Swivel, not just a swivel dock, Gaz. It's the Hyper Swivel dock for the 24-inch.
Does that mean that it's always moving?
It moves and it moves really fast.
Yeah. Because we say that. I don't know if you say that over in the States, but he's hyper.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And now the ability to swivel your iMac around, and they're not that heavy, and the use case that they gave on the website was like, well, if there's someone else, and this the way they talk, by the way, if there's someone else there in the office, you can swivel the screen so that they can see it too. And it's like, so you just go like this.
Yeah, because they haven't got any legs.
Yeah. Or they can't sit behind you and look at the screen. And that just seemed like a kind of not a great reason to buy one of these, but it also includes an SSD, SATA, or NVMe enclosure, so you can add more storage.
Well, now that's a bit different.
Yep, yes. An HDMI port, so you can add another monitor, an SD card slot, USB-A and USB-C ports, and frankly, it should for the nearly $200 price of this unit.
Actually, if it's got all those extra bits, that's probably no, it's quite expensive, isn't it? Yeah,
it's still a little pricey, but instead of having all of those different peripherals, you kind of got them all in one spot.
I like it. Okay, so the next one is Satechi has two new USB 4 hubs specifically designed for the new MacBook Pros, but will of course work with any Mac that has the recent Thunderbolt or USB-C ports. According to Satechi, you can connect up to an 8 kilobyte monitor and of course also includes the usual suspects for connectivity. Satechi are one of these companies that is always bringing stuff out like this, so you just have to keep on top.
And then just as quickly it disappears.
Yeah.
Depending on how well it sells.
I don't. As long as your Mac is capable of connecting up to an 8K monitor, then obviously this will allow you to also push through to an 8K monitor. But that's good.
Well, speaking of monitors, Gaz, I've saved the best for last. And this really, really intrigued me. It hasn't officially been released yet, but they have it on their website. So, like the Apple car, any day now. Any day now. It's the Next NEX monitor, and it's a 27-inch 2K or 4K display, and it's slightly off-center with a base that's large enough to hold like a Mac Mini or something along those lines, and it has a big kind of wide space on the right-hand side for inductive charging of an Android or an iPhone. It includes, on this base itself, 2 USB-A ports, 1 USB-B port, a 3.5 millimeter audio jack, Ethernet port, and SD card reader. And certain Android phones, if you connect to them, it becomes a desktop computer.
Ooh, guys,
haven't
getting
talked
all
about
excited
that before. And they've got it priced at $449 for the 2K and $549 for the 4K display. And
that sounds quite cheap.
Yeah, $549 for a decent 4K monitor is not, I mean, it's still kind of pricey, but it's not a bad price. And when you think about all the other stuff that they're including here, I got to kind of wonder if this is going to, number one, be vaporware, and number two, if the price will go up by the time they finally realize and they price all the bits and pieces out that they need for it. But that's the pricing that they've got listed right now. Now we're going to get to the fun stuff, Gaz.
Okay.
This is the CES.
Do you want me to take this one?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure about the second line, but I'll try and run with it. Tiki Tunes is the wireless speaker for all those times you've had a Polynesian-related party and thought, I sure wish I had torches that doubled as speakers for music.
That's exactly what it is. It's a Bluetooth speaker that emulates a tiki torch.
Nice.
Yeah. Now,
I like tiki.
CES didn't leave those paranoid about EMF from their phones with the Smart Idiot. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Hold on. I meant the Smart Dot. I had to take out a couple of those I's.
Slightly different.
The Smart Dot retunes. I'm having trouble saying this without laughing. The Smart Dot retunes electromagnetic frequencies at their source, Gaz, at their source. So that they can no longer harm you.
How do they I'm not going to ask. Okay, under the possibly ugliest wrist device ever category is the Core, Kore Watch 2. It does all the things the previously mentioned Garmin watch does, but it's ugly too.
Exactly. So it's a feature, Gaz.
Always a good feature.
All right, and the last one I have here, it just struck me, and I had to include it. It's the MPG, and if you go to the MPG website, look this up. They have like all kinds of other really, really weird things listed. The MPG jellyfish LED lamp and aquarium. It's a glowing jellyfish light that provides a spellbinding and sensory stimulating experience. I'm guessing that they don't actually have a real jellyfish in the tube, but they're oddly vague about it. MPG also has a levitating globe to show that they are not just one-trick ponies.
Very good.
Yeah, so there's some of the stuff that struck me for CES 2022.
Well done. I'm quite impressed because I've seen little Apple
there's
stuff.
There's been almost no coverage.
No.
I haven't seen hardly any coverage about CES this year.
You've done a good job, Guy.
I want to go next year, and I'm talking like this because I'm wasting time getting to the point where I can get to the sound bit that is Gaz's tip.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip. So this is a tip that I've spoken about before, but actually I was struggling for a tip this week, mainly because I hadn't bothered to find one, slap my wrist. And I remembered that this week I've been doing an awful lot with signatures on some of the documents that I've had to implant signatures onto some of the documents to send them back. If they accept them that way, of course. But there are two ways of actually adding a signature. Normally, if you go into preview, there's a drop down. There's like on the taskbar, the toolbar, there's like a little squiggly thing. And basically, if you click on it, the drop down, it'll tell you signatures. Well, if you've not got any, it gives you a couple of options, especially if you've got a trackpad. If you've got a trackpad, you can actually use that to try and use your finger to create a signature. Now, that signature might not be quite as accurate as if you had a pen on an iPad, say. But even then, nothing really beats actually writing your signature pencil or pen on paper. So the second option that is available to you is a camera option where you take a picture of the signature. And Apple does quite a good job of then putting that into a document, which you can then put onto any document that you've got. And obviously it's alpha'd it so that you just get the signature on there. It's really quite good. Give it a go. Get your signature on there so you can use the signature process on your Mac in Word. Sorry, Word. Did I say Word?
You did say Word.
I should have said Pages. But normally in Preview, that's where it comes up and is most used. But yeah, that's it, guys.
Oh, he's nodding.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
How many more can I throw in there?
I don't know. I've got a PicSake. No, sorry, you've got a link. You've got a link, I see.
Yeah,
sorry.
and I should have put this in my for pick's sake. It's links to a lot of silly stuff, and I know I was just talking about how I was so not interested in putting a bunch of links in to stuff. But if you want to see some of the really silly stuff that came out at CES, go on over to our show notes. There will be a link to, and some of the things I mentioned today, or that we mentioned today, is on this website, and it is really silly. So check that out.
Okay, so my PicSake this week is Luminar 4. Now, why is it my for PicSake? Well, basically, all you have to do is give them your name and your email. Yes, you'll go on to a list where they send you promo emails, etc.
What?
But actually, it's not been too bad. But you'll then get a license for Luminar 4. Now, you may not get any massive updates when it comes through, but there are plenty of training videos, and Luminar 4 is pretty good. And I think Luminar is about worth £35 or $47.
What is it?
It's a pretty good app for photo editing. It does, it does all sorts of stuff, and you can put layers on there as well. So Luminar 4, I have put a link in there. Give it a go. I'm not sure how long this is going to be up for. They might kill it off, but I have used it, and I'm not a massive photo editor, I'll be honest with you, but it does seem to get quite a lot of good reviews. I've not had too much trash from them because I had a previous one and they were trying to do it slightly differently, but now they've come out and said, here you go, here's a license, Luminar 4, you won't get loads of updates, obviously, but if you find it good enough, you can then just go and pay, the $47 or £35 for the full app. Give it a go.
And at 6'6", I am a massive photo editor.
That's what I like. That's what I like about you, Guy. Not only are you my co-host, you're funny.
Well, funny is relative, and I have funny relatives.
Funny, hilarious. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to let you go first. We have some feedback.
Oh, yes.
It goes back a while. It does go back a while to before Christmas.
Yes,
and
it does. So
you gotta do the setup here.
Not only I, but before Christmas, I think I started talking about the whistle tones of basically Premiership referees and international referees, and how I was really annoyed with them and how rubbish they were. And then we had Christmas, and we didn't do a show over Christmas, and then we had New Year, and that was a quick show. And I'll put my hands up, Marcus. I forgot to put this one in. Well, Marcus sent me. First of all, he sent me this.
Not at all annoying.
Now, the start of that is like, because if you remember, I said I do 3 blows where I do 2 short bursts and then a long burst to end the match. And he's got 3 bursts there, all similar lengths, but it kind of dribbles off at the end there. Now, he didn't really say a lot.
I've heard that about Marcus.
Yeah. Now, he didn't really say a lot in there, and I responded to him saying, nothing like my whistle tones. Seems I'll have to demonstrate on the next show, which obviously I haven't done. Well, then Marcus sent me some images, and he also sent me another tone from one of these whistles. He basically 3D printed 2 sets of different types of whistle on his Mac Pro 6.1. Now, I didn't know the Mac Pro 6.1 could do 3D printing, so that's a new one on me. Well done, Marcus. Anyway, here's the dual tone that he sent me. Now, it does sound like a train. It does sound like a train. And for anybody who wants to know, here is how I generally start a game. This isn't exactly, because I just did it before the show, I recorded it and did it. So here is my start to a game whistle. That starts the game. And to finish a game, this is my end of game whistle. There you go. So now you all know. And it's
back to you, Marcus.
It's back to you, Marcus.
Whistle Wars.
And thank you very much. Yeah, Whistle Wars. Whistle while you work.
That's what we want to have happen.
He's off by me like he's up. I won't carry him.
Okay. And our favorite Greg from North Carolina called in.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any other Gregs from North Carolina, but this one is definitely he's our favorite.
We have thousands.
There's so many Gregs from North Carolina, but this is the one that matters. All right, here he is.
With current pandemic conditions, the G-men are both masked. Unfortunately, you can still hear them talking. It's the MyMac program.
Thank you, Marcus. I mean, Greg.
Greg.
And all I can say is, yes, but you're still listening.
You're still listening. And speaking of that, we didn't talk about this last week. We have, I think, 6 or 7 more shows. No, 6 more shows where you guys can get your bumpers in. And whether you write them down and send them to us in an email or whether you record them yourselves, they will all go into a great big pot. And I got to tell you, Greg from North Carolina and Carl are are killing it when it comes to bumpers.
Absolutely.
And you can, other than please don't curse, or if you're going to curse, bleep it out. Bleep it out. You can say
Like Guy did at the start
Anything.
a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly. You can say
Exactly.
anything you want about us. Keep it clean, but you can be as insulting as you want, and they will all go into a great big pot, and we will pick some winners in our 600th show, which will be 885. Will be, I know that still sounds so confusing. Our 600th show is 885, but that will be the 600th show since Gaz and I started doing the MyMac.com podcast so long ago.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to retire. I'm still working.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out.
I didn't have children when that started. One of them's getting married next month.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Now they just don't. They needed me when we first started doing this podcast. They still needed me. They don't need me anymore.
No.
So it's why we keep doing this show. So anyway, you have like 6 more shows to come up with your best, most insulting bumpers to send into us. And if you send it as an audio file through the Skype number, please let us know, because sometimes I forget to check, and that would be really, really bad. So that's all we're going to say about that until the next time we talk about that. If you would like to help support the show, you can go to Patreon, become a patron of the show, patreon.com/MacParrot. You can buy a coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot, or PayPal at paypal.me/MacParrot. What the hell is... My Android phone is going crazy. I have an Android phone for work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So, Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you, I forgot to. I don't know if I forgot to ask you this or not. Now, you won't see it unless you go to the video part of the show. What do you think of the new background that I made?
Sorry, are you asking me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think spectrum is green. That's what I think.
It's certainly colorful. So if you go and over to YouTube, and we'll tell you all the different. Actually, you know what? I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to say, Gaz, how can people get a hold of you?
Thanks. Send an email to Gaz, G-A-Z, at mymac.com, or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, G-A-Z, M-A-Z, or you can contact both Guy and myself on the Twitters by going to twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, G-U-Y, A-N-D-G-A-Z.
Cars.
Excellent. You can also send an email to feedback at mymac.com, F-E-E-D-B-A-C-K at mymac.com.
This guy's trying to slip me a Mickey.
Well, Guy's not like that.
Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
No, you shouldn't have to.
Guy was paid his 75 grand.
That's why you don't have to pay any attention.
It's why I'm not retired, because nobody's paying me 75 grand.
We know it was a guy, because...
Guy says...
What does he say?
No fooling.
Absolutely, he says. Because...
Guy's the one.
Who?
Guy.
Yeah, because, again...
He's the guy.
Yeah, definitely.
His name was Guy.
Yeah, definitely. If you want...
You...
If you want to contact Guy, how would they do it?
An email from Guy.
No fooling.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering. Oh, every week keeps me in stitches. It's like, will he do it? Will this be the week that he drives me completely insane? Stupid OCD that I have. If you would like to get a hold of me, you can reach me via one of 2 email addresses. The first one is podcast@vertshark.com and guy@mymac.com. You can reach me on the Twitters, MacParrot and or VertShark over there on the Twitters. VertShark is over there on the Tubes of You, so that you can watch all of the videos that are put out with my smiling visage on it, if that's something that you want to do. You can like, share, subscribe over there on YouTube, and you can look for Guy's Daily Drive, where I drive in my car in the snow, apparently, and talk while driving because, again,
maybe
really bad decisions are being
yeah,
made.
maybe you shouldn't do that, Guy, because it doesn't help. With
I was
your
actually
decision-making
recording.
process.
I was recording on Monday.
Was there lots
when
of swearing?
I was driving? No, and because what happened was, because I do this from my phone, if I get a phone call or anything else, it interrupts the live cast, and it doesn't go back unless I physically go back into
I thought
Facebook.
you was using an iPod for it.
I was, but then I can't do that live. So I actually do Guy's Daily Drive live. So if on Facebook, usually Monday and Friday at 8-ish o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, you'll see me doing
So,
a live
folks,
cast
if you
while
want to see
going
an
to my-
accident, just
sooner or later,
dial in.
Sooner or later.
Guy's
That's
Daily
what's gonna
Drive.
happen.
And eventually, you'll see his head hit the steering wheel.
That's right, because there will be a series of very, very bad decisions made. I would like to say to all of you,
Can I
every
just jump
single
in?
person-
Can I just jump in?
Yes, you can. Yes, you
folks,
may.
we're joking. Okay, we are joking. I really don't wish that to happen on Guy.
No, nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. How else can they contact us, Guy?
Well, I think we kind of covered all that. Oh, the Skype telephone number. Jesus. Wow, just lead me right into it. Lead me right into it.
I give you the lead back into it, and boy, do you mess it up.
I just threw it right back into the garbage.
just
You
threw
can
it in my
contact
face.
us. We have a Skype telephone number that Marcus and Greg from North Carolina both know. Prove to us that you also can be just as smart as those
And
two
if you
wonderful
use
people.
It costs Guy money.
It does. It does. And if you're a first-time caller, you might get something back, which we
Ooh.
haven't talked about in a
We
really, really
haven't.
long time. It's a woo tea. I'm not going to go into all the stuff because that's enough of that. But our Skype telephone number outside the United States is 1 or plus 1 703-436-9501. That number again is 1 or plus 1 outside the United States, 703-436-9501. And if you don't like a 1 or a plus 1, even though the rest of the number does have a 1 in it, you can just not do that at the beginning of the number. You go right into the Skype application and dial 703-436-9501. That's all you got to do. It's so easy. This is the part of the show that makes me sad, Gaz.
Why is that?
Because we're getting ready to say goodbye
Oh, that's true.
to all these wonderful people.
Makes us really
So to
sad.
all of you wonderful, wonderful people that download and listen, threateningly, listen to the MyMac.com podcast, it is greatly, greatly appreciated. And we really, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for doing so for all these years, or however long you've had the reason to do this. And Gaz, I think that they believe that we're good enough.
Yes,
I think they believe we're smart enough.
I agree too. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. No.
And that doggone it, Wilf, people, woof, like us, woof.
Wilf.
Wilf. I like Wilf.
Etain omnes hospites audio and satis dico utaque responsum puto skier. Now, if anybody can define what that is, I just can't
You
believe.
get a woody.
But I am going to finish off by saying, Guy,
Yes.
what do you call a factory that makes okay products?
What?
It's a satisfactory.
As soon as you started saying it, it was like, okay, I get it.
End.
Hit it. So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.